Our leaders, for the most part, are by their choice. These kinds of leaders are Uncle Toms who are licking the boots of our former slave masters for his pleasure and wealth, regardless of what happens to you and me, for they really don't care.
The biggest tricks in town, like Leo Cyrus and Raymond Johnson and 26 other lying, weak preachers that allowed themselves to be trotted out in front of the whole city. Oh, Uncle Remus, Tom Mayer came and drew him out like he had him on a chain. And we with the mayor that supposed to be black. And we scheming with our devil to block his bloody white hands from being charged with the murder of George Temple, who was shot 5 times in the back and once in the back of his head with a .45 over a traffic ticket, tricking for a few election crumbs from their master, as consultants they call them. That's why they bring these beasts into your churches, 2 horns and a tail, and he just wagging down the aisle, always straight on up to the pulpit during an election year. And some of you preachers just so rotten, and you low down don't even let your women stand in the pulpit, but have the nerve to bring a whole devil into the congregation, telling them to vote for this dog. The people don't know. They trust in this so-called man of God. These preachers don't care nothing about no God. God is out of style for these fools. He's like a leisure suit. They figure the joke is on you. They feel that if you can't see that the $29.99 prayer package ain't real, then you deserve to be hit in the head and taken down for every dime you got in your pocket. This Charles Smith, Shiloh, done stuck his chest out in the game, sticking up for one of these beasts. This is a game to these people. Greg Farries know this ain't no game, to sell their whole race and congregation for campaign endorsement, riding it off and writing it off as some kind of consultant. What are these Negroes gonna consult these people about? Other than tricking their people to vote for them. Greg Farries don't care about you, but Charles Smith is supposed to care about you. The head of Shiloh Baptist supposed to care about you, at least enough to tell you the sins of Greg Farries have reached the heavens and have been transcribed into the record of their own Supreme Courts for calling black officers nigger as a routine. Did Charles Smith tell you that? Denying black promotions for years as policy of the Baton Rouge Police Department. Did Charles Smith tell you that? Putting mace into air-conditioned events of black patrol cars. Did you know that high-ranking black officers in the Baton Rouge Police Department was told by Farries to their face not to give one order to lower-ranking white officers? Did you know that? Did Charles Smith tell you that? We never said anybody was any worse or any better than Farries. But if you're gonna serve white, you serve with white folk vote. Don't come sending no slave over to us. Make sure you win the election so you can beat us and shoot us 5 times in the back and think we're just gonna let this ride. And it has ridden before, but the ride is over. This is dangerous, man. You got a bunch of illiterate, inbred hillbillies just riding around, can't even write a police report, having the nerve to discriminate against the very black officers that they asked to fill out their report. Look at the signatures on some of them tickets, look like chicken scratch. These people are illiterate and they hate you and they riding around bulletproof with impunity from LaDuff. You feel like slapping a nigger tonight and you want to slap a nigger tonight. This is what they tell the police from out of town after the hurricane. And LaDuff say, well, we had an investigation. One of they Fox Gardner chicken coop investigations. Black people just lying on you. other police just lying on you. White boys catching you snatching cameras on television, just lying on you. Everybody just lying on you. Then the newspaper go to this man and they say, well, Chief LaDuff, we need the names of those policemen that were planting drugs and bragging about wanting to slap a nigger tonight. And he just straight told him, I ain't giving it to you. I ain't gonna give it up. And that's just a wrap. You just gotta deal with it. Then he crawls on television crying because a white policeman had been killed. Every time something happened to one of these white policemen, or a white person for that matter, they hold a press conference and threaten to uproot the plantation. These same Negroes killing and shooting us 2 at a time. And they say nothing. Then they have the nerve to come on giving some slave kudo to these demons for shooting George Temple 5 times in the back. This is spit in our face, man. Black life ain't nothing. Kill 1, 2 will get you 3. That's why we got so many of them crawling around amongst us now that done killed their own people. Walking around amongst us done shot 2 and 3 people and ain't never been so much as even asked a question by no police. They can kill at will and they know ain't nobody coming as long as the victim is black. And with these one man crying for white folks spectacles, your chief of police, LaDuff, has been holding, killers of black people don't have no reason to think that they have to stop killing black people anytime soon. You think we gonna let you ride with this? These white folks know what this means when they see a slave like you on TV crying, faking grief for their issue, that they know nowhere in God's heaven you ought to feel that for them, for the way they done treated you and treat your people. This is bowing down. They know your name, they know how you got it, they know how you got your color, and they know how you end up on TV at 5 o'clock making a spectacle of yourself, bowing down to a bunch of people who couldn't give 2 damns about you. And if you can face each other, the master and the slave, tomorrow, just look in his eyes every time he call you LaDuff. He calling you by his name. And know you don't even have the civilization to even care. And he gonna remember after watching you get out it tonight. And if your nature allowed you to bow down to him and allow him to lord over you from a subordinate position, then both of you deserve each other. And you deserve what you get.
Brothers and sisters,
you got a slave mayor that ain't even going back asking him a question. And of course, these weak preachers, they sitting there shaking like a leaf for $10,000 for a consultant fee to sell a whole congregation. And you paying them, living like Templeton the rat, fat on your money, bragging about what they have, talking about prosperity preaching. They're not going to stop these people from feeding on you. That's their job, to make you submit thinking that you're free. What are you going to do about this? You just going to let them walk around in front of you, tricking you with a pocket full of your money like a big fish in a little pond? Kip Holden ain't feeling bad about none of this. LaDuff ain't feeling bad about none of this. Charles Smith, Reverend Cyrus, and Reverend Johnson ain't feeling bad about none of this with a pocket full of your money. They walking with a smirk, smile on their face, thinking that the joke is on you. Smiling like a fat rat that just devoured his own for his own